So these are the jam jars themselves, and you can see by them sitting in my hand that they are reasonably small, but they're really cute, and actually it's a good size for a little gift for someone. And they are, let's say I wrote notes, they are food safe, and I did measure it out, and these jars contain or can contain about 8 tablespoons, or that's about half a cup. It's just enough for a little treat, probably for one person, which is perfect. And they are plastic, not glass. And that is nice because I actually did drop one today on my concrete floor in my craft room. And I did check with the numbers on the bottom. They are recyclable. However, as crafters, we tend to repurpose and reuse. So unless it's damaged or something, I can't imagine you'd recycle it. But when that day comes, they are recyclable, which is great. Okay, so tonight I think I'm going to show you one idea, and then I'm going to decorate one with you, and then maybe show you a few more at the end. So the first thing that we think of when we see jars is, of course, for storing all of our amazing embellishments. So I just did one up, and I just put in those really great plastic flower embellishments, and then I did put a few on the top because I figured even one day when these are gone or I'm using it for something else, then I've got it decorated to put some little treats in. So I thought those would be fun. Then I think I will show you this one. This one I just did with some little chocolates. These are Jaffas or Jaffa imitations, but these I find are great little candies because they are very, they don't break, and they're a nice bright red. And I used the sweet strawberry bundle on there and just used some words that I had in my little stash and some ribbon around, and I did make a little gift card to go with that, just a little 3x3 gift card, and just of course repeated the strawberry and the little elements that are on there. So that's just a cute little way to use maybe your strawberry bundle or some of your other little leftover bits and pieces and make a little gift with chocolates. All right, so let's make something, and then I have another sample to show you. So like I mentioned earlier, this is contains a half of a cup. So I devised up a recipe for a cake in a mug that uses a half a cup of ingredients. We're going to put in 4 tablespoons of flour, and I was going to have them all measured out beforehand, but I realized if I put them all in a bowl, then I didn't have any real easy way to get it actually into the jar. So that's why I'm doing it like this. And then we're going to put in 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And I'm not going to worry too much about mixing this because it will get mixed when it's made. And then it was just like an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just putting a little dash in there. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, or you could use cacao powder, whichever you prefer. And then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Oh, got a little bit brown from the cocoa, that's okay. And then we're just going to tamp it down, and then I'm just going to fill up the rest with chocolate chips. And then those can just go right in the cake for when you cook it, it will just melt in. So you'll get something that looks like that. And I thought this would be quite cool to do with seashells, the sand and sea sweet. So I'm going to use the hand-penned sweet tonight. I might turn that on its side so people can see. I'm going to use the hand-penned sweet, and I did find that the circle framelets, it's this one that's about 2 1/4 inches, or if you happen to have a punch that's that size, then that's perfect too. Okay, and then we'll put that on. And then I grabbed the little envelope die that's from the snail mail suite. It's this one here, and this one is discontinuing, so it's this die, and it's so adorable. And I've actually cut that out of the in color vellum, and this vellum is very, very shimmery. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll just put that onto the jar like so. And then I've made this tiny, tiny little card. It's literally 2 inches by 1.5 inches folded in half. And that's gonna fit into our little envelope. I mean, how cute is that? And we'll just decorate that one up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take some more of this hand-penned paper and just put a couple of, I mean, these are like pieces that I would personally throw away. So it's another way to use those, and just place that on. And then I'm just gonna stamp a little hello. This is from the Snail Mail Suite. And I just was looking for little, like literally small words to put on there because it is such a small card. Okay, and then I'm just gonna punch a little hole in the side, and we'll take some linen thread. I'm just taking some linen thread and poking it through that tiny little hole. Well, I'm pulling some of it through the hole anyway. I've kind of stripped it, but that's okay. I will just put the tails through. And then I'm gonna cut all that off so it looks nice and tidy. This is just, I thought if I put the linen thread there that it would invite the person to actually pull it out and open it. And then what I'm gonna do is, I won't do it here on this video, but on the inside, I would write what you need to add, which is 5 tablespoons of milk and 2 tablespoons of oil, and then you just put it in a mug and microwave it for 70 seconds. So those are the instructions I would write in there, and then maybe a little note. And then I've cut a strip of the paper that's 7 inches by about 1.5 inch, not 1.5, about 3/4 inches, and then decide where on the jar you want it to sit. I want to show that there's, you know, color. I don't want to cover up my cocoa too much. So I'll just wrap that around. Well, that's just barely enough. And then I'm just going to wrap around some more of that linen thread. And give yourself plenty to tie a bow. And I love my linen thread, as you may have noticed. So I'm just going to wrap that around, and I'm going to show you a finished one here in just a moment. Well, this one's almost finished. I just need to write the little recipe inside, and then just trim those off as you like. So I know it's hard to see a jar on camera because it's 3-dimensional. So this is one that I did earlier with the So Saffron envelope, and this one's with the Pale Papaya vellum, which is nice because it's shimmery. Oh, and I didn't put the little heart on. This little heart from the Snail Mail Suite. These are just really cute to have. And then I'll put those over here. I thought it would be nice to make a card to go with this as well, because inside this little card you have your recipe, so it's nice to have a card that you can write on too. So I thought I'll make, let me put that so you can see it. I'll make a 3x3, so it's 3 by 6 inches folded in half. And then I've cut a 2 7/8 square Pale Papaya, and then about 2 3/4 by 3. This might be a little more than 3 of the Designer Series paper. And I'm going to go to an old technique that is kind of my go-to when I need a quick card, and I call it the rip and flip. So you're just going to rip your paper and flip over to the other side, so you're seeing both sides of the paper. Now I made it longer than I needed so that I could have some overlap, and then this way you can see both sides of the paper, and it's a good use for your Designer Series paper. And then we'll go back to our linen thread, and I've already put dimensionals on the back here and my tape. So if I'd used ribbon on the jar, I would use ribbon here, but since I use linen thread, I think I'm going to repeat it. Now I've put a little tape here, and I'm just going to turn my linen thread around because I think it's quite wasteful to have linen thread on the back of your card. So you're going to have that for the minute, and then let's put that on our card front with dimensionals. And then you could just tie a bow, but I like this bow when I'm using linen thread. And that's this bow where you wrap it around your 4 fingers twice, and 3 fingers twice. Then you're going to cut it, and I needed like an extra little piece here. And hopefully the focus isn't being weird. It's being weird when I was setting up. Who knows about the technology stuff? It's like from one day to the next, from one week to the next, something changes. And then you're just going to fold those loops in half and tie that together. And that's your bow, and you could stick it on there, but I prefer to tie my bows on. It just makes them very secure. So I'm just going to take those tails and tie them on. Okay, and then just cut that. And then I just have a little tag. These were left over from another project I was doing. So I just hunted through my stamps to find a, oops, I just stamped that somewhat crooked, but I think it's not too bad. Stamps that were more square in shape or tall in shape rather than, you know, long. So you need some of this sort of shape in your stash as well. And, oops, and then we're just gonna tuck that onto our card. And then I just used some of the pearls, the pastel pearls from the hydrangea suite, and put that on. And I did put some more little pearls on there, but I don't see them at the moment, so I'll just skip that for now. But you'll see I did put a couple more pearls on there just to finish it off. So that would make a very cute little gift for someone. And then the last one I want to show you is, I love how this one turned out. This one is using the Turtle Friends, which is one of my favorites right now. And I've used the Pattern Party paper, which is a host paper. So if your order in New Zealand anyway is $300 or more, you can pick those as one of your freebies if you like them. And then I've used the Pattern Party paper as well for the shell here. And then I have actually taken some little mini chocolate bars and wrapped them in the Pattern Party papers too, the ones that kind of match the colors I was using. So you've got this whole jar of matching chocolates, which is just super cute. And I thought that would be fun for maybe a young child. And then just did a simple card, really simple card to match, so you could write your you know, whatever you want to say to them inside. So I hope you enjoyed that, and you find some more uses for your jars and have a look at those in the online store. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and thanks for joining me tonight. Bye-bye.